4 things that we need to keep in mind before we start talking to a high-paying potential client. Are you struggling to get your first high-paying client? Welcome Crescenders, my name is DJ Merson, and in this video we are going to cover the 4 things that you need to keep in mind in order to have a perfect stand in front of the high-paying clients. So before we even dive in and outreach to clients and talk to them personally, we will be first clearing these 4 things in order to make sure that we close the deal. Okay, the first thing is you need to put out content that actually places you as an expert. Now what do I actually mean by that? Now when I say a content that will be placing you as an expert, I mean the content, whatever content you're putting out, it has to talk about the service or the product that you're going to give out. Okay, suppose if you're posting Instagram growth hacks and you are providing services like branding, logo design, then it doesn't really make sense, does it? Now if you are, when someone comes up to your DMs, they would be like, okay, can you offer social media management services? And you are like, no sir, I'm only doing branding stuff. Now that person would be knowing that you must be doing some Instagram social media management, but you are doing something different. So the content that you're putting out, always keep this thing in mind, the end product that you want to deliver. Okay, so there are 3 things that you need to keep in mind while doing this. Number 1 is do not copy other people's content. Like if you're just copying other people's stuff, make sure that this high-paying client is gonna check out different IDs as well. So if you're putting out the same content as other IDs, then you won't be different to that person. He would be seeing the same content again and again, and he would be frustrated and choosing nobody. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that whatever strategies that you put out, whatever content that you put out, it has to be really, really original, and it doesn't have to be really copied from someone else. So this is the first thing. The second thing is the profile that you are having, it has to be perfectly optimized. Now what do I mean by that? The 6 golden factors, I have been talking about it for a very, very long time now, and you have to keep these 6 factors in your mind: your username, name, bio, profile picture, story highlights, and the theme content. Now I have already made a YouTube video on how you can perfectly optimize these in order to get automatic sales. Now it will be available over here, you can check that out later on. But you have to have a perfectly optimized profile so that whenever a profile visitor comes up to your page, and he would be getting a clear idea on what you are giving out. Okay, so you have to have your profile perfectly optimized. The second quality is that you need to get into the shoes of your client, of your potential client, and understand the situation. Now if you ask questions like how are you and where are you from, these questions are not bad, but these are not professional as well. So you need to keep this thing in mind. Those people who are coming up to you, they do not have time. Since they are high paying clients, they are looking out for outsourcing things, and by outsourcing it, they don't mean small talks. Okay, so you have to ask questions that actually digs in deeper with their problems and how you can solve their problems. Okay, so start asking questions about their business, start asking questions about what they want to achieve, ask deeper questions, and eventually you will be getting to build that trust with the person who you are talking with. Okay, when you start asking questions in the views of the client, he will be placing you as an expert, and then after a point of time they will be asking you some advice for their business as well. So that's the most beautiful part. And the third thing is that you need to keep in mind is that you have to be very confident at what you deliver. I'm not saying that your English has to be very, very strong and you have to be very fluent with grammar. Even I'm not that strong. But what you need to keep in mind is whatever you are saying, okay, the questions that you are asking again, they have to be really confidently delivered. Now, if I'm asking you what your business is all about, so these 2 things are really, really different when you actually deliver them. Okay, the second part would be really casual and the first thing would be really professional. So you have to keep this thing in mind and deliver the questions really, really sharply. You have to place as a personality. You're not someone who's just getting on and bragging on their things that they have never ever covered in their entire life. So you have to be genuine, you have to be really honest with your opinion. If you didn't have a client earlier, then say that. Okay, you say that confidently, and you have to tell it that I'm really confident that I can do this thing. If you have got any issues, then you can check it out. I can do this for a really low amount right now, and then later on, if you feel that I am worthy of it, then you can give the actual price. Okay, so this will be the third thing. The fourth thing is you need to be patient and consistent with what you do. If you're consistently posting on Instagram, if you're consistent with giving out your message, then you will be getting a client sooner or later. Okay, like you do not have to worry about, see, you are just 22, you haven't even lived 1/5 of your life, so how are you even worrying about getting clients? If you are still worried, then it doesn't really matter, because there are 17 years old who have client as well, but those people have started for a very long time and they have built a reputation first. So it doesn't really matter, you do not have to get a client right away, but think about it this way: you are growing anyways. Okay, you are growing anyways, and even if you are growing about 10 followers every single day, then you are growing. Okay, you are growing as a brand, you are growing as a person, you are learning every single day, right? So you have to have that thought in your mind and keep working on. Okay, keep working, do not worry about getting a client. Now you must have heard this saying: the best things happen when you least expect them. Okay, when you are least expecting a client, then the client happens to come up. Okay, I will give you a perfect example. For the past 2 months, just pre COVID-19 thing, I had some really amazing clients, but after the COVID-19 thing hit, I lost those clients. For 2 months I didn't have a high paying client, but then after this lockdown thing, and in the later May, I actually got a high paying client. So it doesn't really matter, you just have to be patient, because you're growing anyways, right? You have to be happy with that right now, at least. And when you're growing, you have to be persistent, keep doing what you do, and believe in yourself. I would just say this till now. So today we have covered till here. In the next video, I'm gonna show you what is the exact step that you can implement in order to get a high paying client, and also how you can close them. So if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and also like this video if you like this whole thing. And I'm really sorry if I made some grammatical errors, I'm just learning. So yeah, see you in the next one. Till then, stay safe, stay home, and keep creating for a change.